And if a person shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Oh, yeah. Hello you guys, my name is Crystal and thank you all for tuning into Chris Codes. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button because you know you want to, and it's free. Notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop new content. Comment, subscribe, and yeah, stay tuned. Let's get right into the video. Alright you guys, it's super early. I have shea butter on, that's why I'm so greasy, but so bypass that. And yeah, Chris Codes linked below. Go ahead and shop. We're running out of handbags. I am going to be restocking some of them, but not all of them, because as you know, we're migrating into clothing, so I will have clothing coming soon. And this weekend, all my new jewelry will be uploaded to my website. Should be actually by the end of today. Today is Tuesday. This video is going to drop on Friday, so when you all see this video, everything should be on my site, and I'm running 40% off. So I'll leave the link of my boutique down below in the description box, and I'll leave the coupon code for your 40% off. So make sure you all shop. I love you all that's already shopped. And yeah, let's get right into the story. I don't know what I'm going to title this yet, but when you read the title, you already know what the story time is about. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So as you all know, I moved to Connecticut last year. I also think that was one of my best decisions I made in my life. You know, I really enjoyed myself. I feel like I grew. I kind of like became my better self. And for those of y'all that know me from like 2 years ago or years ago, y'all know I'm like a whole new person now. So yeah, so before this story time is going to take place before I move to Connecticut. So yeah, it's really juicy. This happened a while ago and I'm over it. So I was like, why not tell the story time? And I'll tell you all what inspired this after I get into the juicy details. So I was going to move to Connecticut. At this time, me and my ex at the time were not on good terms. And he was kind of trying to like slide back in there, make things work towards the end. He would like towards the end of my time in Georgia. So basically trying to make things work. Oh, you know, explaining why things weren't working when it was all around toxic anyway. And if you all been in a toxic relationship, you already know what I mean. The continuous arguing, over nothing, the foolishness in general. So the continuous arguing in general, like it was toxic, period. It ended a long time ago. But yeah, so he was basically explaining, and he was the type to never really take accountability for anything. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he's changed. Stupid.
Cut the cameras.
You know what I mean? Like and I'm telling this story time because I don't know if you all have heard of Tony Gaskins, but he basically kind of puts women on game, you know, things of that nature, especially for a woman like me that kind of try and see the good in people and don't want to think that, you know, guys are trying to pull a fast one or be sneaky or lie and things of that nature. He basically tells you that's not the case. And I saw a video this morning. I was like, oh, let me tell my story. Most women may be able to relate, and if they can, then, you know, I'll be doing a service. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so he was just basically feeding me all this BS. I don't curse, so y'all know what BS means. So he was feeding me all this BS. Basically, you know, I want to marry you, I want to work things out, things of that nature. And when I say us as women, we have to learn. Sometimes you gotta shut the door and lock it. Even now I say that and I'm still kind of petty with it, and I'll go into detail about that later. But we have to learn to shut the door and lock it, like, period. Because at that point I was basically over it and all that, but you know, trying to be trusting, trying to be like, okay, you know, maybe he does really want to work things out and things of that nature. But no, okay. So yeah, so he's like, oh, I want to work things out, trying to get back on good terms. And yeah, at that point I had already spoken to my brother. I might tell a story about like me moving, like to Connecticut at the drop of a dime, like this. You know, for those of you all that don't know, my brother and his family, so his wife and children, my niece and nephew, they live, and my new nephew, so they have a newborn too, but he's not newborn, he's like 1 now, but you know what I mean. So yeah, they live in Connecticut, so I was with them and all that, and like I really enjoyed myself, and you know, I love them, and it was a great decision that I made. So yeah, I was already basically deciding that I was going to move up there with them for the meantime. Like for a year, they were only going to be up there for a year, and I never lived up north, so I thought it would be a good change in scenery, especially with how toxic like a lot of stuff in my life had been. It was like a smooth detox. That's what it was. And yeah, so I kind of dropped the bomb, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be moving to Connecticut. So at first he was just kind of taken back by it. He was just like, you're moving to Connecticut, you know, stuff like that. And he kind of talked about like whether he may come with me or this and that. And I was just like, no, you know, I wasn't going for that. And then he said, you know, then I'll help you get up there. Basically, we were talking about travel plans. Maybe I could, like, I wanted to take my car, so he was like, oh, I can drive up there with you and then fly back, you know, trying to be very like considerate and helpful. And a lot of times I won't take that from him. He was helpful with certain situations in my life. It was just a weird season with him, but you know, because I ain't really had too many problems with her. But anyways, we're not gonna push blame, but yeah, like it was just a weird season in my life the entire time, almost the entire relationship. It was just like turmoil in my life, and I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. When you're just like kind of in a very toxic situation, things aren't going well in every aspect. Why? Life. And a lot of times because you're not focused on yourself, and I wasn't focused on myself and on God, and I should have left it sooner, but I didn't. But let's continue. So he's talking about the travel plans and how he was going to help me get up there and things of that nature. I thought that was very sweet because that's a very long drive from where I am now. That was like a smooth 17 hours. So that's quite a while. So we're talking about travel plans and all that. Fast forward, maybe 2-3 days before it's time for me to move to Connecticut. Basically, my mom worked on that side of town that he lives on, because he didn't live on the side of town that I lived on. So he wanted my mom to bring him a plate. Now, keep in mind, you all, we weren't on good terms. We were working towards that. So yeah, like we might have been peaches and cream. We might have been helping. My kitty is like turning over, shaking and stuff on camera. I'm sorry, y'all. So yeah, we was working towards being good. We was talking about travel plans and stuff like that. But my mother doesn't owe you anything. So this was my mindset. I'm just like, I'm not about to have my mom going out her way or anything for that nature. My mom doesn't have to do for you. Personally, my mom wasn't fond of him. I won't say she disliked him, but she wasn't fond of him, like, for me. And she was right. But and she bought me this. She just went to Atlantic City. What y'all think? I might start tie-dyeing sweatshirts because I freaking love this sweatshirt, and I feel like I'm gonna put them on my site. It's not gonna say Atlantic City, of course, but so cute. But anyways, let's continue. So I was kind of offended by that. I was like, my mom doesn't owe you anything. I'm not about to have my mom like at your beck and call. Like, no, what do we look like? And then this the thing, it's just like you be giving like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? You know what I'm saying? Like, cook your own food. Like, I get it. Like, some women or people will be against this. They're like, oh no, I cook for my man, I do this for my man. But okay, are y'all married? But are y'all married? Are y'all married? But are y'all married? You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all not married, I don't understand why you doing all that. Like, and I feel like men know if they're gonna marry you from the jump. And we were probably a little over 2 years in, or we were at 2 years. We were 2 years in. So if you're gonna marry me, you would have already known that. And I'm not about to be giving you marriage privileges as a girlfriend. no, no, no. And that was my fault. I was doing that. And I told y'all, like, we weren't on good terms. So I'm like, I'm slowly realizing you got the game messed up, okay? Yeah. So he doesn't say too much. He's like being argumentative back and all that. I told you this was toxic. So I'm not saying I wasn't argumentative, because I was. We both were. It was, like I said, it was toxic on both. So he's like, I don't see why not, blah, blah, blah. And at first we was going back and forth, and then he hung up. When I say dude didn't contact me until I was already in Connecticut. So keep in mind, I made that drive by myself all the way to Connecticut. And I don't think I heard from him until it was like my birthday. He sent something for my birthday, so he didn't try and see if I made it there safe, anything like that. He didn't care nothing about that. But he sent me something for my birthday at the place. Remember, he knew where I lived out there because we were talking about travel plans. So yeah, in Connecticut, he was like sending stuff to the house, stuff like that, you know. And at that point, it's just like it was giving manipulative. Like, you will disappear. And I go, now I don't know if he just tried to disappear, like, oh, if I didn't have your help, then I wasn't going to be able to move to Connecticut. I was still going. But now thinking about his mindset, it could have been another mind game, because he's good with that. So I'm getting gifts in Connecticut. He's sending stuff to the house and all that. And yet and still, I'm just like, no. Now keep in mind, he was calling and texting. I didn't pick up because I just didn't want to be bothered with the foolishness. I had grown from that. This was some like the most peaceful time in my life since the last like 2-3 years. You know what I mean? And that's what we don't realize. Because if you're in a relationship for so long, especially me, like I'm like in and out of relationships, in and out of long-term relationships. So it's just like, once you really take the time and you're by yourself, you start to value that. You start to value the peace and quiet, the peace in general. You know what I'm saying? So I did. So I wasn't picking up any calls or any texts back. Fast forward to the future. Now, he sends me Bible verses every other morning, or quite often anyway. And me, I'm just like, okay, most of the time when I want to go to church, like, you'll be making excuses. Now, granted, he does believe in God. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he believes in God. But you weren't super spiritual when we were dating. And now, neither was I, but it's completely different now. So I do feel like people can grow, people can change. But let me tell you why I say you should never go back. And that's to say, I'm probably gonna put a few clips of like some of what Tony Gaskins was saying in one of his videos, so y'all can see like where I'm going with this. You just shouldn't go back, because it's really only three reasons why men leave, or give you like kind of like distance themselves, or give you a reason to go. They kind of push you out, if you get what I mean. Like, y'all don't necessarily break up, because that was one thing I hated about the relationship too. We didn't really like break up. I would say I'm done or whatever, and then go back like a fool.
It's safe.
But he wouldn't really say he's done. Like, he would just go ghost. And I feel like that's, you know, a very toxic thing to do when it comes to certain relationships, especially long term, because you kind of leave the person wondering, and you want to leave that door open when the door should be slammed shut. So yeah, it's only really 3 reasons why men leave and then come back.
I want you to understand this. The number one reason why a man leaves and comes back is because he wanted to cheat in peace. That's the number one reason. And so your man he tired of the same thing. He wants another laugh. He wants another body. He wants to see another booty. He wants to see another personality. And he is complacent with you, and he feels like you're not going anywhere. He feels like he has you in a position to where he either has your mind, he has your heart, you have his children, and he feels that he can leave you and send you enough mixed signals to keep you kind of perplexed and stuck, standing still, and he can go out and get him a little something else different, have him a little quote unquote fun, and then when he's done having fun, come back to you, and you'll still be single, you'll still be standing still.
Caught like little signs of cheating. Never caught him red-handed per se. I did catch him texting someone, but never caught him red-handed. But I knew he was. I don't really go into detail, but I knew he was. It doesn't really matter now. I don't care now, but I knew he was.
We don't care.
Let me tell you.
So that's one reason they want to cheat in peace. You know, they want to make the other woman feel like she's like important, you know, and they can't really do that with you calling, texting. I have a cough drop in my mouth, or a Ricola. Sorry, but they can't really do that with you calling, texting, pulling up, things of that nature. Another reason is if they thought they found someone better, and all that.
Third reason why a man leaves you and comes back is because she was a downgrade. He was done with you. He done made up his mind, you not the one for him, you not his wife, and he let an argument turn into a breakup, or he started something so that y'all could break up, or he, you know, kind of forced you to kind of leave, like almost mutual decision, and then he goes to her, and then some months later, 3 months later, 6 months later, he's back. He's back to you. The third reason is because she was a downgrade. He left you thinking she was going to be an upgrade, and then got with her and realized she's a downgrade.
And turns out they weren't. Yeah. So they thought they found someone better, and turns out, you know, they weren't. I'm going to put a clip, a ton of gas, and talk about this because it was hilarious.
My ex was using honey pot. Oh my, summer eve, or just some water. So he done went over there and something caught him off guard. He like, whoa, okay. First time she took them shoes off, cause he's not a man of love. He don't love you. He don't love her. He a man of lust. He lost. He don't have a purpose. So any one thing about this woman that he left you for could turn him off, and he right back to you, because he used to your problems. He used to what you got going on. He thought she was an upgrade, but because of her body or her looks, but then he got in there and she took out them color contacts and she pulled that wig off and messed around and let everything just drop, just flow. And he realized, whoa, that push-up bra was a wonder bra. That thing had them thing up. What you had, a lay front? What, it was a wig? And then she scratching, and now he kind of, that wig musky. You don't look how you look on Instagram. You look real different from your pictures on Instagram. Anybody ever told you that? Give me a second. Now, see if I can find your page.
And the last reason, she didn't want him. You know, like she might have wanted him in the beginning and realized, you know, the same things that you realized throughout the relationship, that it's toxic, or he's toxic.
The second reason a man will leave you and come back is she didn't want him. This happened to me.
Period. So even in all those reasons, I already knew that none of those reasons would be worth me giving it a second try, an eighth try, because we were breaking up, making up. And that's another thing. If you're doing that break up, make up stuff, just end it.
That's why I tell women, like, don't let a man run in and out your life if he left you. When a man leaves, you got to shut the door. Shut the door, change the locks. Change the locks, you got to move on with your life. And if he come back and he want to get you, he literally got to jump through hoops. He got to go through everything. He got to do everything. 12 sessions of coaching. read 5 different books together, retreat, virtual seminar, live seminar. Like, you got to put him through some stuff to make sure he really serious and he understand, like, this not a game. Don't be playing with my heart.
Just end it. It's not worth it. Like, if a man wants to be with you, he wants to be with you, period. Like, that's that. So yeah, let me keep going. So now he's contacting me now, sending me Bible verses, stuff like that. And part of me thinks it's kind of manipulation as well, because he knows I'm like very into, like, I say it like it's a trend, but I'm God fearing, and I feel like he's changed my life for the better. And if it wasn't for God and like getting into the Bible and talking to my grandma and listening to pastors and preachers and things of that nature, I feel like I wouldn't be the woman I am today. And when you know your worth and when you know what you offer to a relationship, you won't go back. You won't go back to something that doesn't serve you. If a man wants you, he wants you. He'll change for you. He will do the necessary things to keep you around. But if they're willing to play all these mind games, they're not worth your time, ladies. They're not worth your time, okay?
Where you going? I got to go.
Now, lastly, now, like I said, now he's like sending me the Bible verses and things of that nature, and I feel like it's like another manipulation tactic. So I was a little petty one day. You know what? I shouldn't have responded like I never do other messages, but I sent a Bible verse. I'm gonna list that Bible verse here. Shady, I know. You know, it's if you read it, like, you'll kind of know where I meant. Like, you know, I'm going where the peace is, you know what I mean, and showing what I deserve and what I know I'm worth, and that's not you. Like, I feel like that summed it up, where I really didn't have to say anything. But I feel like at the end of the day, I thought this would be a great Foolishness Friday, because at the end of the day, it's some foolishness. I made mistakes in past relationships that I know a lot of women have made. And never go back to what does not serve you. It doesn't matter if you've been on bad dates. It doesn't matter if you haven't found the one yet. God will send you the right man for you, and it's not going to feel like hurt. It's not going to feel like, you know, you got to make it work. And that's just that on that.
And that's on period.
You know? And I feel like so many times, so many women settle for less because you think that's all that's out there, and that's not the case. So I just thought this would be a great Foolishness Friday, because it is some foolishness. And I hope you all enjoyed this story time. If you all want me to tell more story times, just leave it in the comments, and I'll do just that. Don't forget to check out the new website. Check out my boutique. Of course, we have some cute things. Like I said, I'm looking at some of the inventory now stacked up in these containers. We are running out of handbags, so if you want a handbag, be sure to check out the website this week. We are running 40% off. So thank you all for tuning into Chris Codes. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, because you know you want to, and it's free. Notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop new content. Comment, subscribe, and yeah, see you all for the next video. Bye.